once a week for 2 weeks as required by law. The 2011 budget was discussed at the council workshops held on September 27th, October 25th, and November 8th. The 2011 budget includes the proposed utility rate increases that were just approved. The attached budget ordinance reflects discussions to date on the proposed budget. After the public hearing, the 2011 budget ordinance will be presented for adoption. Recommended action is to open the public hearing.
Thank you. And with that, I will open the public hearing in regards to the 2011 Washougal City budget. Any members of the public that wish to speak in regards to the budget? Yes. Please don't wait. Anybody?
Make a line if you have.
Okay, here's some more. Part 3. Sherry and Wright, 35514 Southeast Sunset View Road. Part 2 on the budget. I have a question on the bill. At the workshop, the packet had a proposed budget of $31,925,851. And then the ordinance of today is $32,049,349. My question is this legal to have council vote on a different amount than the ordinance that was given at the workshop? Number 2, general comments. I don't understand why total expenditures for the same fund differ. Examples are the drug fund, 141. On the budget itself, it would be page 50, example, page 58 and 59. The total expenditures vary from 46,000, and then one page says 34,700 for total expenditures. Then my question is, why are the figures different? Shouldn't they match? Then B, the budget should not allow miscellaneous for $22,000. The fire department has a total miscellaneous of $7,900. This amount seems to be a bit high, especially compared to the police department, whose total miscellaneous is $1,290. Oops, I'm losing everything here. Okay, animal control department. Animal control for one vehicle, gasoline is $5,500. Fire department has $11,000. Police $39,000, but they have more than one vehicle. Code enforcement is $1,000. The animal control budget of $185,576 seems too high for 2 dog catchers, whose revenue is only $85,000. Camas pays one half of the program, which does not include insurance and various other employee benefits. There are no visible records to the public for the justification of the department expenses. D, the general fund street fire comparison. I beg to differ with the figures that were presented to the Post record. My spreadsheet that you have is as follows. General fund street fire, professional services reduced by 6.1%, not 32%. Travel reduced by 13.31%, not 25%. Training increased 10.56%, not reduced by 25%. Not included in the above expenses are cemetery, drug, water, sewer, stormwater, utility. Professional services increased 58%. Travel increased 23.08%. Training increased 10.85%. And then we're not talking about Agenda Bill 170, right? I can't talk about it now, right?
You certainly can.
Oh, the increase to the city's tax rate by 1%. I don't think that's a good idea. It's not a good idea to raise the taxes right now. This bill shows no expense to the city, but a lot of future expense for its residents. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Wright.
I made it.
Next.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Como. I'm from Portland. I'm a volunteer with the West Columbia Gorge Humane Society. I would like to urge you to keep the shelter in the budget at least as much as possible. The funding that comes from the city for the shelter pays for our 2 amazing dog shelter managers who spend a lot of time training and socializing and working with the dogs to ensure that they're happy, healthy, and safe. More often than not, the dogs leave the shelter better behaved than they come in because they spend a lot of time training them and teaching them good behaviors, and that's always very important for a new home. When we have a shy dog, they let the dog spend the day in the office with them, socializing them and getting them to be friendly. They go for walks every day of the week, sometimes 2 or 3 times during the week. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not a good public speaker.
Okay.
the dog program is incredibly amazing, and without the support from the city, it's going to suffer a little bit. Caitlin mentioned earlier about the importance of a no-kill shelter in a community, and I'd like to expand on that. With the economic problems that our country is facing, families are sometimes in a position where they're forced to have to give up their pet, and these families come to our shelter and they're in tears and just brokenhearted because they have to give their beloved pet up. And sometimes they're crying because they're sad, but some of the tears are also because they're so grateful that there's a no-kill shelter in their community where they know that their pet will be safe and happy and healthy and cared for and won't face the possibility of euthanasia. And in our shelter, they also have the opportunity to come walk the dog and see the dog and play with the dog until it's adopted. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Council members, my name is Stephanie Chamberlain. I live at 35519 Northeast 30th Street in rural Washougal. On a national and somewhat local level, I'm involved in canine rescue. I'm a delegate for the National Organization of Mastiff Rescue. I'm a foster home for them. I'm also on the board of directors for the Eastern Oregon Animal Rescue Foundation. The shelter we operate here in Washougal is exceptional. Their standards are amazing. Like the speaker before me said, in these economic times, all shelters are raining cats and dogs. A lot of people have to give up their pets. So I'm going to suggest, rather than reduce their budget, you increase it because they surely need more help.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Don Boland again. Just wanted to thank you all for the process. This is the first one I've been through, but I sense you've all given it your all, and I think you've been as candid and as direct and as transparent as I've seen a group of people work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boland.
Kimberly McCoby, 930 Northwest View Ridge Court. Just one last quick question in comparison. I'm not going to talk millions here, just our $25,000 annual contract budget. I'm not asking for an increase, even though we would appreciate it, but I just wanted to let you know that $25,000 that covers our 2 part-time employees are for 3 hours a day, and they do work way more than 3 hours a day. They end up sometimes staying there 8, 9 hours, depending on the public demand. They don't get any benefits whatsoever, so the rest of their time is volunteer. And I was just, my question is there a time we could sit down and look at possible alternatives? If it can't come from the budget, can we take a portion of animal control? And since we're already doing a portion of animal control's job, or is there a way we could sit down and talk about maybe increasing fees or something to make sure that these employees are still paid and we're able to still provide the city of Washougal and the city of Camas our contracted services? So that's just my question. Is that a possibility in the next, before the budget's passed?
I believe the answer to that question is yes. I would hope, especially given the long testimonies and the direction of a lot of this council last year, that probably would have happened in the last year and not coming into the budget session. But certainly, we certainly are not going to pass the budget this evening, so.
Right. But I just think there's some way we could work together and figure out how to keep these services going. I'd like to tell them to work for free, but I can't. Even Chuck at Southwest said, Kimberly, there's no way you can